After 60, I started avoiding my wife's eyes. Not because I no longer loved her, but because I no longer recognized myself. Every night I woke up 3 or 4 times just to go to the bathroom. During the day, I felt drained, with no interest in anything. My body felt heavy, but worse. My spirit seemed to be drained little by little. If you've ever experienced that feeling of slowly disappearing, then this video is for you. Don't leave, because in just a few minutes, you will learn about a solution that seems simple, but could be the first step toward the recovery you've been looking for. Hit like so this video can reach more men who are silently enduring the same struggles. And if you've ever felt left behind as age catches up with you, comment the words "I understand" so we can connect with each other. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for upcoming videos, where I share gentle, natural, and body-respecting therapies. 60 is not the end. That's when you need to start listening to yourself again. And today, we'll begin with something that seems very ordinary, but has helped many men regain the feeling of control over their bodies. Castor oil. Are you ready? Let's begin. Richard is now 66 years old. He used to be a chief engineer at a major airline. For nearly 40 years, he was used to controlling everything: schedules, equipment, people. But there was one thing he didn't anticipate: his own body, gradually slipping out of his control. It all started with small things: nighttime urination, fatigue after waking up, a dull ache in the lower abdomen with no clear cause. Then came the difficulties in intimacy with his wife, something he had never worried about before. At first, Richard thought it was just aging, but the more he stayed silent, the worse it got. He lost sleep, lost inspiration, and what hurt him the most was that he began to avoid the life partner who had been by his side for more than 30 years. If you've ever been like Richard, silent and enduring, then you are not alone. Biologically, what Richard went through has a name: andropause, testosterone decline in men after 60. But it doesn't stop there. As hormones drop, blood circulation weakens, tissues degenerate. A chain of problems arises: erectile dysfunction, nighttime urination, pelvic pain, loss of desire. And sadly, many choose to endure rather than face it. Richard tried prescription drugs, and yes, sometimes they helped. But headaches, fatigue, and the feeling of dependency made him hesitant. Until one day, an old friend called and asked, "Have you ever tried massaging with castor oil?" It sounded strange, even laughable. But at that point, Richard had nothing left to lose. And this is where the story changes. Before I continue, if you recognize yourself in these words, leave a comment saying, "I've been through this," because your sharing might inspire someone else. And if you believe this information should be more widely known, please hit like and subscribe. Every week, I share gentle solutions to help men over 60 restore vitality in a sustainable way. Richard's story is not rare. It represents millions going through a phase no one taught them how to handle. But perhaps the solution isn't far away. Sometimes what we need is just a small step to begin again. And in the next part, I will share how Richard used castor oil, and why this seemingly ordinary oil has such a special impact on pelvic health and male function after 60. Don't go away. This may be the information you've been searching for. Richard started with the simplest thing. Every night before bed, he took a little castor oil, warmed it in his hands, and gently massaged the area between the scrotum and anus, called the perineum. Just within the first minutes, he felt gentle warmth, a relaxing sensation spreading into his lower abdomen. No miracle right away. But after just 5 days, Richard realized he had slept through the night for the first time in nearly 2 years. The reason wasn't magic. It was biology. Castor oil contains up to 85% ricinoleic acid. When absorbed through the skin, this compound binds to EP3 receptors, the type that regulates inflammation responses in the body. The result is reduced swelling in soft tissue, especially around the prostate and perineum, decreased inflammation, and improved blood circulation. In other words, Richard's pelvic region, clogged and tense for many years, began to unlock again. Just imagine, if you've ever had dull pain in the lower abdomen, ever felt pressure but couldn't urinate, ever lost sensation in intimacy, you'll understand how precious that release is. But that's not all. When you apply castor oil to the lower abdomen or perineum, the body responds as if receiving heat therapy, called the hyperemia effect. Simply put, blood rushes to the area. Blood vessels dilate, nutrients are delivered, and tissues, especially the corpora cavernosa in the penis, start to be nourished again. This is not just theory. In a study conducted in India, men over 60 who massaged their perineum with castor oil for 14 consecutive days reported reduced pelvic tension, better sleep, and noticeable improvement in intimacy sensations. If you're still watching, hit subscribe, because you deserve more solutions like this, and I'll continue sharing natural, simple, yet powerful methods. Another surprising benefit, castor oil helps soften and moisturize the genital skin, an area that after 60 often becomes dry, irritated, and sensitive. With skin protection, you're less likely to experience itching, fungal infections, or pain during intimacy. Richard shared, after 3 weeks, not only did he feel physical relief, but his mental state also changed. Caring for himself, reconnecting with his body, felt like a reconnection. No longer just struggling, but accompanying. You might wonder, is it safe to use externally like this? The answer is yes, if used correctly. Start by testing a small drop on your wrist. If after 24 hours there's no reaction, you can use it safely. Here's how to do it. Step 1. Take 1 teaspoon of pure castor oil, warm it in your hands. Step 2. Gently massage the perineum, or place a cotton cloth soaked in oil on the lower abdomen. Step 3. Optionally, place a warm compress on top of the cloth for 15 to 20 minutes. Do this 3 to 4 times per week. Don't expect miracles. Just treat it as a regular self-care habit. Imagine this. If just 15 minutes every night could help you sleep through, reduce nighttime urination, relax your body, and most importantly, feel like you're back in control of yourself. Wouldn't it be worth trying? If your answer is yes, leave a comment saying, "I'm ready." And in the next part, I'll share what you need to know before using. What are the myths? What is science? And when you should consult a doctor? Because the goal is not to try randomly, but to choose the right way so your body recovers naturally and safely. Richard once thought he had found a miracle, but he was an engineer, not easily convinced. He wanted to really understand. Was this truly effective or just a temporary feeling? So he began to research. From medical studies, Ayurvedic texts, to real-life stories from elderly communities worldwide. And what he discovered made him believe even more in this seemingly humble therapy. Castor oil has been used in traditional Indian medicine for hundreds of years. In Ayurveda, it belongs to the Rasayana group, substances that restore vitality and awaken male energy flow called ojas. Traditionally, practitioners instructed massaging castor oil into the lower abdomen to release stagnant energy and reduce prostate inflammation. It may sound mystical, but when compared to modern medicine, the overlap is striking. In vitro and in vivo studies confirm ricinoleic acid in castor oil strongly reduces inflammation by inhibiting prostaglandins. the mediators of inflammation in the body. This explains why many feel relief, reduced pelvic tension, and better sleep after regular oil application. A study published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology also showed castor oil has antibacterial and antifungal properties, especially against strains causing genital skin inflammation in older adults, such as Candida and Staphylococcus. And most importantly, castor oil rarely causes skin irritation, except in extremely rare allergy cases. Richard was not alone. Miguel, 72 years old, from New Mexico, shared that he used castor oil packs every night for a month. He placed a cotton cloth soaked in oil on his lower abdomen, added a warm compress for 20 minutes before bed. He not only felt pelvic relief, but also slept more deeply. And most importantly, intimacy with his wife was no longer a mental burden. However, the truth must be said. To this day, there have been no controlled clinical trials proving that castor oil can cure erectile dysfunction, increase testosterone, or shrink the prostate. No pill or oil is a miracle. But there are noteworthy records. In 2007, a U.S. patent was published for a formula combining castor oil, fish oil, and baking soda, reported to help reduce prostate enlargement. While not yet officially tested, it shows the scientific community is also paying attention to natural therapies with fewer side effects. By now, if you find this information valuable, please share this video with a friend, a brother, or a father, quietly going through this difficult phase of life. A small action from you could be the light for someone feeling lost. And if you want to continue this journey of restoring vitality, hit subscribe, because I have more to share, not from textbooks, but from real experiences and solutions that have helped thousands overcome the dimmest phase of their lives. Back to Richard. He still maintains this habit. Castor oil is no longer just a therapy. It has become a ritual, a nightly reminder that he still owns his body, still cares for himself in the gentlest, yet strongest way. In the final part, I'll share the ending of Richard's journey, and a message he left for himself and for other men, that true recovery does not begin with medication, but with belief. 3 months after first using castor oil, Richard walked into his backyard as usual. That morning, he not only felt healthier, but something small yet priceless happened. He and his wife sat together on their old wooden bench, holding hands, with no distance. No need to say much, just an eye contact. A connection once broken, now rekindled. Richard did not become young again. He didn't need to. What he gained was the feeling of returning to himself, returning to his body, his emotions, his lifelong partner. He once thought aging meant accepting decline, but now he understands. It is the time to learn to care for yourself more deeply. Maybe you are on that journey too. Maybe you're confused, tired, or simply feel like you're fading. If so, remember this: you are not alone. Men's health after 60 is nothing to be ashamed of. It deserves to be cared for, understood, and restored, even if it starts with something very small, like a few minutes each night with a drop of oil. If you see yourself in this story, leave a comment. Tell me where you are on your journey. You don't need to say much, just one sentence. I am starting again too. Hit subscribe and stay connected. Because in upcoming videos, I'll continue exploring natural, simple, and profound ways for you to live healthy, live fully, and not be forgotten inside your own body. Thank you for staying until the end of this video. That shows me you truly care about yourself, and that already is the best first step. See you again in a new journey where you are no longer an outsider, but the one who is proactive, strong, and full of vitality. 60 is just a number. What really matters is how you choose to live after that number.